Across the United States, immigrant communities and their allies are taking to the streets. From Los Angeles to Dallas, from Phoenix to Atlanta, thousands are marching, demanding justice, demanding dignity, and demanding change.
Over President Trump's immigration policies.
Chanting, marching, and much more.
But you can see this portion of Buford Highway.
As raids begin to ramp up across the country.
To the streets of Southern California, waving Mexican flags and carrying signs and banners in support of immigrants. Several businesses also closed.
This movement comes amid President Trump's immigration crackdown.
On President's Day, protesters flooded city streets and state capitals under the banner of the 5501 movement. 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. Demonstrators voiced concerns over immigration enforcement, economic inequality, and government accountability.
From Americans far and wide protesting on this President's Day.
We're protesting against what they call the president's attempt at a coup.
To protest President-elect Donald Trump.
Noon, a large crowd gathered on the Capitol steps.
Senator Bernie Sanders warns that democracy is being threatened by a small, powerful elite. He believes people, not corporations or billionaires, should have a say in the government. Traveling across the country, Sanders is rallying communities to stand up for immigrant rights, human rights, and a system that truly represents the people.
Bernie Sanders came to Omaha to kick off his tour, focusing on districts where Republican members of Congress won by slim margins.
The message is get your congressperson to stand with working families and not cave in to the Republican leadership.
Sanders' main target, the oligarchy, specifically highlighting the support President Trump has gotten from billionaires like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
It's not just that the rich are getting richer while working families struggle. Oligarchy is about political power.
This is not just a political issue, it's a human issue. Policies shape lives, and people are fighting for their future. The choices made today will impact generations to come. And it starts here, right here, in this small town. Citlali, Bernal, and Leslie Lopez, two young women inspired by their mothers, Zeferina and Maricela, stepping up to make a difference. With the support of Eagle County Commissioner Jeanne McQueeney, they have found their voices and an opportunity to turn their words into action. Because when we listen, we seek to understand. And when we come together, real conversations can begin.
I'm a county commissioner here in Eagle County for the past 10 and a half years. And I have a year and a half to go because we have term limits. And so I've been doing this for a while, and I'm always so happy to get out and meet community members, and especially to talk about what's of concern to you all. So happy to be here.
Jeanne McQueeney is here to listen. She understands that every voice in the community matters, and she's committed to hearing the concerns of Latino families and beyond. Maricela and Zeferina are stepping forward to ensure that Latino families feel safe and supported. Their message is clear. No one should feel afraid to be a part of this community.
Entonces, mi nombre es Maricela Tamariz, soy mamá de Leslie. La primera cosa que quiero decir es que yo estoy muy orgullosa de ellas dos, que hayan iniciado la protesta, que hayan reunido cierta cantidad de personas, que pudieron haber sido más, creo yo. Faltó un poco más de comunicación, pero en lo que quiero hacer énfasis, que yo estoy muy orgullosa de lo que ellas están haciendo y que muestran su compromiso con la comunidad latina. Yo creo que la mayor preocupación de nosotros como papás es saber si nuestros hijos van a estar a salvo en la escuela. Afortunadamente, ellas tienen un estatus legal. Hay muchos niños que no lo tienen. Y yo como mamá me involucro con las otras mamás que tienen en esa situación a sus niños. Y creo que nuestro condado es un condado muy bonito, muy bueno en todos los aspectos. Entonces, deberíamos tener los papás la confianza de saber que si nosotros salimos a trabajar, nuestros hijos van a estar protegidos ante cualquier situación en la escuela, y que nosotros podemos seguir con nuestras actividades sin tener que estar pensando y si ICE aparece, y si no los cuidan, y si no nos avisan, y si no sabemos. Creo que es una de las mayores preocupaciones de nosotros como papás, el seguir con nuestras actividades teniendo la seguridad de que nuestros niños están protegidos en la escuela, en el condado, por las autoridades escolares, por las autoridades en general, por el sheriff, por todos, porque al final del día solo van a la escuela a aprender, a hacer su vida, y es un derecho que tienen todos los niños, independientemente de su estatus legal, tener la seguridad y la tranquilidad de que ellos van a estar a salvo en la escuela.
Yeah. I was on the school board for a few years. My husband's on the school board now. And so I have a little bit of insight in that the school district does not collect immigration status, right? They don't, it's not on any of the forms you fill out, right? And so they have no idea, and they don't count up how many people, there were a lot of people who just felt like, oh, you know it, but you don't share it. It's like, no, we don't count how many people are hurt. We don't know exactly who. We know if you speak Spanish or English, but that doesn't help, like in terms of immigration status. So, and I know that the school has a policy. I don't know what it is because I'm not in there, but they have a policy about if someone from ICE or immigration were to show up at the school wanting a student, they have to have a court order. They can't just walk in and say, I want this student, right? And they have some sort of policy in place that will, they will tell them, go get a court order signed by a judge and things like that. So I don't know what the school district can do to say, come to school, it's important. And we're not calling anybody. We don't know who's got a legal presence and who doesn't. And so.
All right, so what you're going to want to do first is go to the Eagle County website, search up policies on the top right search bar. You're going to want to scroll down to district policies, go to the top right search bar, and type in privacy. Once you search that up, you're going to want to scroll down to the file that's labeled File JIH. Once you click on that, you're going to want to scroll down slightly until you find Interrogations and Interviews. It's going to say, when law enforcement officials request permission to question students when students are in school or participating in in-school activities, the principal or designee shall ascertain that the law enforcement officer has proper identification, except when the law enforcement officers have a warrant or other court order, or when an emergency or other exigent circumstances exist, such as an interrogation and interviews are discouraged during students' class time.
Can I add something to that? It's kind of just like a question. So with the federal funding being like frozen and stuff, and our general attorney fighting against that, like what are ways that you guys can help support like funding like that, not just for like nonprofit organizations like My Future Pathways, but like also just in school and education and stuff like that, because it's very important.
Well, there's so much rhetoric out there, and we don't know what he's doing, right? But there's talk of them closing the whole Department of Education.
Yeah.
So then it would, I don't even know how you do that, but it would all be at the state level. And the state is very supportive of school funding and of not having to prove immigration status to get that funding. So there's so much out there that he says that the whole federal White House group is saying at this point that we just don't know what's going to happen. And the reality is the schools are going to keep functioning. They're going to, they're not going to start closing schools across the country. So it's very unclear how you go about doing this.
Yeah.
Federal funding is used to support educational services for students with disabilities and English language learners, and to fund programs at districts and schools that have a high proportion of or numbers of low-income students.
Hola, mi nombre es Zeferina, soy la mamá de Citlali Bernal. Entonces, nuestra preocupación es qué va a pasar con nuestra gente trabajadora. No queremos que les pase nada, solo vienen a trabajar. Estamos de acuerdo en que si una persona, aparte de estar ilegal, está haciendo malas cosas, está haciendo delincuencia, está bien, tiene que irse. Pero nosotros, y entiendo ellas en su protesta, estamos defendiendo a la gente trabajadora, a la gente que viene, se dedica a trabajar, a cumplir con nuestras obligaciones, como pagar impuestos, estar lo más mejor posible en el país por la oportunidad que este país nos da estar trabajando aquí y sacando a nuestros hijos adelante. Es la gente que nosotros estamos apoyando junto con nuestras hijas que se animaron a hacer la protesta, muy orgullosas de ellas. Y yo todavía tengo hijos también más chicos que Citlali en la escuela y lo mismo que decía Maricela, nuestra gran preocupación es levantarnos, irnos al trabajo con aquella inseguridad de que los rumores de que va a venir ICE, va a poder entrar a la escuela, va a poder entrar a los trabajos. Lo que comentaba usted que había rumores que estaban parados en Walmart, fuera de las tiendas, ya no queremos ir por la comida. Afortunadamente nosotros estamos en un estatus bien, pero tenemos familia, tenemos amigos que solo se están dedicando a trabajar y que nos preocupa que los molesten.
Sorry, this is a really, really hard time. It's just a hard time, and we're going to get through it. I keep reassuring myself that we did this 4 years. I mean, he's been in the office before. So I do feel as if we're going to get through this. But what we should have, at work, you should have a brochure that tells people what their rights are. You know, if someone knocks on your door, you don't have to open it. You can ask for, a paper signed by a judge saying, so you don't, but we don't create that. But our Human Services Department would like to hear if because we have legal representation. So we would like to hear if there's an issue that they can respond to.
All right, so what you're going to want to do first is go into Google, search up Red Card, click on the first link. You want to scroll down, click on the one that says Spanish PDF. You're going to want to cut this out, glue it together, and just in case of emergency, you can know your Fourth Amendment right.
Because I can promise you almost that if you were to make a statement, you and the other commissioners and the chairman and everyone, if you were to just make a statement like, we are on your side and we completely support you and we're going to get through this, it would bring so much comfort to all of these immigrants that live here and all of these people that are part of the Latino and Hispanic community. I mean, that's what we need, is that reassurance.
Do that. So, well, I don't know if you follow politics. We just had a new commissioner join us, right? And so in 2016, when we passed this resolution, he wasn't there. Right. So we wanted to give him a chance to read through the resolution and see, do you agree with everything we said here? Mm-hmm. And so we've given him that chance and we'll have a conversation and we'll get something out, because it was this idea of, well, it's still out there. This resolution, no one knows it, but it's, if you look, it's there from 2016. But it'd be really, so you're saying it would be really helpful if that was that was a thumbs up. It's hard to.
Yeah.
It was really helpful.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Because we can do that. And the sheriff's on board with the resolution as it's written. And he's mentioned in there that, for legal issues, criminal issues, please no, he's not checking if it's a crime. He will investigate the crime, and it does not matter that it's person without legal status reporting a crime.
All right, so what you want to do is type in Eagle County resolution relating to support for local immigrant. Click the first link, and there you will have the resolution. Feel free to pause the video or read it or search it up on your own time.
La única cosa que quiero decir es que también, gracias al esfuerzo de ellas y de todos los jóvenes que están aquí, que la mayoría son latinos, usted está aquí y está siendo una voz para ellas y para nosotros como miembros de la comunidad, como mamás preocupadas, y nos está dando la oportunidad de sentirnos escuchadas a nosotras, como le decía, mamás preocupadas, amigas de otras personas que tienen las mismas preocupaciones que nosotros, y podemos tener como la capacidad de decir correctamente que estamos protegidos, que nuestros hijos van a estar bien. Y esto es algo que me pasó hace unas semanas con una amiga que yo quiero mucho. Ella tiene 2 niñas y ella estaba firmando como poderes para decir, si algo me pasa, por favor, quédate con mis hijos. Y eso es algo que a mí me dolió mucho. y que yo no quiero que ninguna mamá pase, que ninguna mamá esté preocupada por eso. Y ahorita yo tengo la certeza de hablar con ella y decirle, las personas indicadas, nuestras condado de Higo está con nosotros, siéntete tranquila, manda a tus hijas a la escuela y todo va a estar bien, porque me lo dijeron de primera mano.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sitting down with us. I mean, the whole point of my protest was to be heard, was to send a message, and you got that message. So that's all I could have wanted. And again, thank you to My Future Pathways for helping me spread this message and to put it out in the media. And thank you to Leslie for helping me start the protest. Thank you for our mothers for sitting down with us and talking for a community that we can't necessarily speak for. And again, just thank you. Thank you for your time. I mean, we completely understand you're a busy woman.
Yeah, you're a busy woman, and I think everything you said was really empowering, and it helped us feel heard. And I think, Citlali started this whole protest, and I think we all have to thank her for that, for starting this protest and coming up with the idea and protesting at work and having the courage to protest at work and in front of like a government building, like a school. And I think that was very empowering. And I think you, as like the only woman commissioner on your board right now,
There's
yeah.
3 of us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really empowering, and you're a great role model for people like us.
And actually, if I can just say that the reason that you were able to step up and do the protest was because of your moms, because you raised these young women to stand up for what's right? You didn't tell them, no, just go along, right? You told them when you see something that you need to stand up and say it. So it's really impressive. I had a mom who was similar, in terms of what she would protest, because that was a lot of years ago. It was all during the whole women's rights thing in the 70s, and you guys are dumb. It's too old. But she had protests, she would protest things about women's right to vote and things like that. And so that got in me that when you stand up, when you see something wrong, you need to stand up and do something about it. And there was a quote that I used a lot, that if not me, who? So if not you,
that was exactly my thought process.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just want you two to recognize that you got that from your moms.
As we navigate these challenging times, one thing remains clear: unity is our greatest strength. It takes all of us working together to build a stronger, more connected community. By listening, understanding, and supporting one another, we can create a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Let's keep moving forward together